Baby, the government has shut the fuck down, but we have not. The big three are back, and we are joined tonight by Kaivan Shroff, who is going to talk to us about messaging and how we're getting this right, or maybe how we're getting this wrong. Y'all, what we thinking here about this government shutdown?
Look at us. We're all like,
Who's going first?
You
I'll
know,
go first.
I'll kind of cue up some stuff, right? And Bradley, we are happy to be back, and to everyone out there, we've been gone for 2 weeks. Kenny was sick 1 week. I'm like, Lord, am I getting sick now? Run down. I'm not sick, but I am a little run down. Kenny was sick. It was a great time to take off. And then we both were out last week for CBC week. But baby, we are back. We are back in the house. And so, guys, this is, did you think the government, the first question really would possibly be like, did you really think the government was shut down? Like, did we think that Democrats
Tiffany
would do
called
this
it.
and they were going to tear? Tiffany called it. Tiff, what was that call?
Well, I knew that they were going to shut it down. This is what they do every single time. They had 6 months, guys, 6 months to get this together and did absolutely nothing. What they came up with, and I asked Hakeem in that interview that we did, would they go forward with a clean CR? And he said, well, if they don't give us what we need, then no. So he stuck to his word. So I appreciate the fact that they stuck to their word. They had a plan. They worked on it. What did I ask him? Are you working with Schumer? I mean, all of that was a prelude to what we were going to experience. So 30 days later, I think we're about like 30 days from that. This is where we are. And the Republicans came to the table with absolutely nothing. And now they're trying to pin it on Democrats. They did not negotiate one thing. Let me be clear about this, people that don't understand. The House left on July 28th. They left because they were trying to hide from the Epstein files. They ran away, right?
Mhm.
They came back on September 12th, September 2nd. They have worked 12 days in the entire month and have the audacity to sit around asking what the Democrats will do, why the Democrats are not negotiating, why the Democrats don't want to just go forward with a CR. And not to mention, the CR is only for 7 weeks. This is not a 30, like a 3, 6, 9 year plan. This is for 7 weeks for us to do this all over again the week before Thanksgiving. And I'm not with it. And I'm glad the Democrats held on. All right, who wants next? Because that's what I got.
Was adamant about we need to shut down, we need to shut down, we need to shut down. You know, but what have we thought about the consequences of the shutdown?
Absolutely.
Because
I
when I
mean,
was
but
every Uber driver that I was talking to in DC was not happy about the shutdown. The people
Listen,
in DC are worried about the shutdown. Was this the right thing to do?
I mean,
yes,
but this is
it
not.
was
It's
it
not on
was
us.
the right thing to do. Yeah, it was the right thing to do because guess what? There are 22 million people who are impacted by this. There are 22 million people that are going to get letters within the next couple of days telling them that their insurance is going to be raised. So yes, if we're talking about from a standpoint of right or wrong, yes, it is the right thing to do because there will be impacts that will be felt across the board when healthcare is no longer available for people and they guess what stop paying for it and they go without insurance. We've been here before. We've been here before before 2010, before the ACA passed. We were here. I'm not even gonna say where I work, but I work in this field, okay? And trust me, you do not want to go back to where we were when people did not have insurance. People have become complacent, they have gotten used to this, and now, yes, there's impact. There's going to be impacts across the board. It is tragic that people will get fired, they will get furloughed, they will no longer have jobs until they come back, they will not get paid. There's nothing we can do about that. But when
And
you're
let
when
me
you're
give
talking about weighing 300,000 jobs versus 22 million people, come on, let's do right or wrong here.
and
Come
to
on.
give perspective and like price tag, right? Because and this is what Democrats like fought to do. Currently, you're paying $307.20 per month under the Anthem Bronze plan. Now you're going to now the change is, and this is for someone who's making $65,000 a year. They pay $307.20 per month. Now, with if the changes don't come in, if the changes or what the Democrats want to see don't get back put into place, they're going to pay $964 a month. They're going to go from $307 a month on a $65,000 a year salary to $964 a month on a $65,000 salary. That's not affordable. That's like impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I think even like beyond some of those numbers, which are so important, like we've had government shutdowns before, but we haven't had governments like this before. And I think it was really important. You know, I think even like the moderate wing of the party was fully behind this time, because this is one bit of leverage it seems Democrats have in this whole scheme. And if they weren't going to use it, I really feel like the base was going to revolt against Jeffries and Schumer. And actually, I think it was funny. I just saw Pelosi a couple hours ago. Somebody was saying, "Oh, is AOC behind this?" And you could tell she was like super behind this, because she was like, no, like AOC's great, but this was Hakeem Jeffries. That's like the skill that I've been investing in finally showing up. So you could tell she was behind the move. And I think it's also a moment for Democrats to really bring back some messaging that they, I think, failed to land, frankly, when Trump passed his budget about the cuts and sort of the jeopardy that Americans are in. And it's better because we're actually closer to all of that stuff taking effect. So in a lot of ways, it's sort of a second bite at the apple.
But here's the question, like, is that messaging working? Like, this, I do believe, was a necessary thing. It was the right thing to do, but I don't believe people understand fully that this is on Republicans. I don't think that message is being made clear. Prime example is this bullshit.
Yeah, well, I can't hear you. Can you hear him?
Yeah, your mic went out for a sec.
Better get that ghetto thing together.
He just made it home, y'all. Y'all got to bear with.
I know.
And plus, everything that is in this office was on the trip, right? So I had to
okay, I'll give you grace. I'll give you a little bit.
I had to deconstruct my camera, my microphone, my laptop.
Lord.
Take everything with me to to DC, because I didn't know what I would need as I covered CBC Week, because I was also getting interviews for State of the People, right? That's going to launch tomorrow. So everyone out there, please watch State of the People TV, brand new show, The Signal Live, launch tomorrow. I'm a segment producer. So I volunteered to get like filler footage for them. And so I completed, so Kenny knows I did 7 interviews yesterday. But in addition to 7 interviews yesterday for CBC, I did 12 interviews during the actual CBC for State of the People TV. It's been crazy. So all this shit has been all over the place. But it's here now, and so hopefully the mic is working. So the question though becomes, this is the right thing, but I don't think the American people are going to see this in a week as something that was done by Republicans. I think that they're going to re-message this the right way, and it's going to be put on the Democrats to blame.
I don't know. I feel like if you look at what happened last shutdown, the polling shows that they did blame Trump. And even so, it was a much less sort of dramatic situation economically for voters, and they still blame Trump. I think now you have, tariffs, you have inflation still going. It's the holiday season. People are already doing their holiday shopping because they're so frustrated by prices, grocery prices at record highs, even compared over last year. And then you add this shutdown, and then you have Donald Trump saying he actually wants to fire more people and exploit this shutdown to do that. It's going to cost the economy $7 billion a week, some people are estimating, the shutdown. So I do think voters are going to put it on him. But again, yes, it is about who's winning the messaging game. And I think I've seen some tighter messaging from Democrats this go around on who to blame.
Okay, so let me give you my take on this. I don't think that people give a shit about this. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. The people that are not impacted really don't give a shit about it. I did a video on this. They don't care. If you talk to regular people, political people, people that pay attention to politics, they know what a shut. I always gauge my husband. When he tells me something, then I know it's in the ether, right? It's out there. But he hasn't said anything to me about a shutdown. So that means no one on sports radio is talking about it. No one in like the blogs or the group chats that he has are talking about this because it likely doesn't impact anyone. Think about it. Today, what changed from today to from yesterday? Absolutely nothing. People don't care about going to the parks. They don't care about going to a monument and there's, I mean, the museum. Like these are things that are impacted now. People don't get their checks for Social Security, then we'll have a different conversation. Or if they don't have their Medicare, or if they are not able to get certain like a loan or something like these are things that impact people personally. And until the shit impacts people personally, they don't give a shit. It's the same thing with voting. Those 90 million people that tuned out, they don't give a damn. Let's be real.
Well, it just depends when that funding doesn't come to them, because apparently, because Jasmine Crockett was doing a live earlier today, and she was talking about how some of the federal funding helps with Head Start and Boys and Girls Club. So, with all these things that do impact those families, when they actually feel it, then yeah, they will give a damn. To your point. But I think right now a lot of people are just tuned out. There's so many things that's happening all at once to where a lot of people are just like, look, I just see no evil, hear no evil. A lot of people are just out of it. Like a lot of things are being thrown at us overwhelmingly to where people just cannot stay tuned in, eye focused on everything that's happening because so many things are being thrown at the American people all at once. A lot of people are still confused about how they're going to be able to afford groceries. Like we talked about the last episode, things are extremely high. People are trying to worry about, okay, how am I going to pay my rent? They can't focus on politics every day. And I think sometimes we have to have a little bit of empathy and also just make sure that we understand that from a personal point of view, not everybody's politically focused. A lot of people are just focused on just trying to make it through the week. And we have to be able to bring it to people where it's,
This is not abnormal in Trump's America. It's the new normal. So let me explain. It's not going to stop. Donald Trump and his administration they're the masters of the political strategy that works. It is. They are. Give them the credit. I'm done trying to even pretend like they're not. So literally, Donald Trump knew the shutdown was going to happen. He wanted it to happen. Tells the Republicans, take extra days off, sit on your ass, play games, attack the trans people, do all the evil shit that you do, right? Plot, take world domination, do the evil shit you do. While he goes back, has Pete Hegseth calls for all the military to come to the Pentagon to do God knows what, which was really nothing. But he knew that would cause a distraction, take away from this. So you had multiple things and multiple major news stories hitting the news all at one time. That is their strategy. So that the most damaging things they do to the American people will never be seen by who? The American people. More people talked about Pete Hegseth's Pentagon meeting and him calling people fat than they talked about the government shutdown. That is by design. We, or the Democrats, have to find some way to break through this. And right now they're failing. I Smile said there needs to be a media response team for the DNC. Well, they had something like that going in the very beginning, but people complained about the font on some tweets. Remember that? And so they were like, oh, well, let's just stop doing it. And they fucking did.
Well, just because somebody gives you a criticism doesn't mean that you shouldn't listen to it and actually improve. They didn't like the font. Okay, so let's give them a graphic video.
The answer was just let's not do it, and they quit.
Well, the DNC actually came out with a really good video today. I don't know if you guys saw the cat video. Yeah, so they have this cat video, which is actually pretty freaking good. It has like 5 million views on TikTok right now. It is the most stupidest, simplest video.
Oh, the cat.
The two cats. And it's not for us, guys. That video is not for us. It's for the people on the other bus, okay? The bus that does not understand what's going on. The civically illiterate bus. That's what it's on, okay? Where people don't really understand politics. They don't understand the details, and you have to put it in the most simplest term. You have a Republican cat and a freaking Democrat cat, and one is getting money from donors. One wants to save healthcare. It's the stupidest thing ever, but it works. And this is going down to that granular level where people who are not political can understand it. We talk in politics. Other people, they don't talk like that. So we have to disconnect from that.
I thought I did a pretty good job with the Monopoly board.
That was good
I
too.
like that
You
too.
did do a good job. No, you did a good
That
job
was
at the
good.
end when you
That
talked
was
about
good.
the. But that's what but that's the thing. The thing about you, Kenny, you are really good at connecting those dots because you are talking like your normal self. You're just just going off
And it
and
worked.
using it, and it works. It works. It works for a certain amount of people. See, we all have to have different messages that work for different people. What people want from the people that complain to me about like Hakeem Jeffries or Schumer, these are political people that constantly berate these people, like a Ken Klefstein or whatever the freak his name is. All these people that just constantly complain, complain, complain. But these are not the people that are actually tuned into politics. Those people are just chaos agents, and we gotta stop paying them attention because that's all they want to do is cause more drama. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
I will say though, unfortunately, I think like those people have quite a following and audience. Like even among people that if they're gonna watch one political show, like a lot of my friends that don't follow politics, but they do watch Breaking Points or they do watch, like some of those YouTubers that just constantly bash Democrats no matter what. And I think like, and like Hassan, those types of people, that's their industry now is to really critique from the left. And somehow when I do think, Democrats don't necessarily have that winning media strategy or it doesn't seem tight, or in fairness, you do have Schumer and Jeffries at times saying, oh, maybe Republicans will do the right things. Those clips, I think, do go really viral and do sort of undermine whatever has broken through on
I
sounding the
agree.
alarm on the threat of democracy and all of that. I don't know.
I
I
think
hear you. I understand what you're saying, but I also do think that at some point, when people start getting these letters, when people start getting impacted, they're not paying attention to what they're worrying about the bottom line, which is their dollar, which is what is in their pocket, right? That's what they're tuned into. So at some point, these grifters that keep on constantly just going in, people will have to start realizing that they are part of the problem too. And I don't know how that breaks through, but you keep saying that the Schumer is the problem. Schumer did what you wanted him to do 3 times already.
Yeah.
So you're nitpicking little things. Like today I saw Ken Klefstein nitpicking Hakeem's YouTube. Oh, he only got like a
I
hundred.
saw that. I saw that.
I'm like, are you a clown or what? And then
because he's
he's
not
like,
supposed to try.
And he hated the cat video too. He did a little
yeah,
post about
yeah,
it. I saw that.
exactly.
He
That's
was like,
like he's not. These people are not so much in touch. They do have a following, but are they really in touch with what people are
No.
thinking?
but
No.
No, I don't think
I
they
will
are.
say the one thing is like I agree with you. Schumer did do what people wanted him to do. And I'll also say people aren't paying that much attention. So if the government shut down, if things are awful, if prices are high, if you're not getting your checks, then it should actually be pretty easy to sell that to folks. I do think you kind of can't have it both ways. Like that is an easier sell, I think, than the lies and twisting Republicans would have to do to have people view it the other way. And yet it still does seem to be an open question. And I do think that is put on someone in leadership. I don't know that like the messaging from honestly, just down to the energy behind it of a Schumer and Jeffries punches through the way some of these other communicators do. And I think Democrats have a lot of really strong communicators, so it doesn't need to only be on leadership. But I do think when I see people complaining, it is this feeling of like, if you're doing the work behind the scenes, by now in 2025, we have to know how to tell that story a little better.
I think the
And
problem
that's
is
the
a lot of people
problem. We
don't trust
don't.
them. But the other thing is we just don't trust the Democratic Party. Right now, there's a trust issue happening within our party. Because again, when we were here last time in March, and me and Zach, we talked about this.
Yeah.
A lot of people said that they were going to stand on business and did not. And right now, even though they did stand on business this time, a lot of us are asking the question, what's different this time from last time? Because they were threatening to fire federal workers then, but they did. 300,000 Black women had already left the federal workforce. 100,000 left yesterday before the government shutdown. And they kept talking about all the consequence that would happen with a government shutdown. So they bent to the knee of Donald Trump the first time. I'm not talking about Jeffries. I'm talking about Schumer. And those 10 Democrats that broke the party lines within 24 hours after saying they would hold the line. I think the issue is that when people are looking for strength, especially from our Democratic Party and our Democratic leadership, it's so wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm.
When they're not standing truly on business. And I think that's what the issue is. And honestly, if I was a part of leadership, I would take accountability, saying, okay, we are still trying to navigate through these unprecedented times. We're working with a president that's lawless. We don't necessarily know what's going to happen in a normal situation. Bipartisanship and reaching across the aisles should work, but the whole playbook and the rules have changed. And they have to acknowledge that. And they need to level with the people. If they're not, I think the problem is a lot of people are tired of the Democratic Party playing in their damn face and playing with their intelligence rather than just telling them the damn truth and answering the questions head on.
Here's something that I think that they did effectively this week. Okay. One of them is just calling a thing a thing. God damn it, just call it a thing. If they're lying, if the media is lying, just say that they're fucking lying. That's all you need to do. Stop playing games. Stop with all the wishy-washy shit. Just if they're lying to you, just say, Kakeem, that video did really good. He said, you're lying. Like, that is a simple thing. Like, it's not even anything complicated, but call it out. And for far too long, they've played respectability politics, and that's what people are sick of. Stop with the respectability politics. Just say what it is. No, they're lying. This is not true. They're bullshitting you. I've seen it across the board, from Schumer all the way to Jasmine Crockett, where they're saying they're lying, and you have to call it out for what it is. Because guess what? You're fighting on three fronts. Democrats are. You're fighting leftists who are trying to come at you. You're fighting the media, and you're fighting Republicans. So you have to appease all three of those. You have to fight all of them and try to keep your base. It's a hard thing to do. I mean, really and truly, it is
impossible.
No, you don't have to. I don't believe that you should. I believe what they should just do is tell the damn truth. The truth will win at the end of the damn day. I mean, we can sit here and argue with leftists all we motherfucking want. They don't live in the realm of reality. They're crazy. Stop trying to reach out to them. Just speak the fucking truth. If you speak on the truth, that's how we built our platforms. All of us here is just speaking the raw and uncut truth. That's what's going to resonate with the people. That's what's going to be relatable. That's what's going to be authentic. That's what's going to move the needle. Just tell the damn truth and just call it what the fuck it is. Fuck the consequence. We're already burning down as it is. Just see what the hell happens. Well, what do we have to fucking lose? What Donald Trump said back in the day. What do you have to lose?
Well, that's what they're saying, Kenny. That is literally what they're saying. We Chuck Schumer just came out and just said it. He's like, they were when Russ Vought said, "Oh, we're gonna fire people." He said, "You already have been. So what's the difference?" I mean, they just need to just be honest, like you said, and just tell it like it is, and don't hold back, and see where it goes. Because people are tired of the niceties. People don't want the nice bullshit. They're pissed, and they want to see you pissed too. God damn it.
But I agree. Tell the truth, tell it clear, tell it plain. But like we said, like at the dinner table yesterday, Kenny, what about when that truth is something that you won't agree with? Because that's gonna come.
Look,
that's gonna come.
Agree or not.
But it's coming. And I'm just saying that's the problem, is that when when a Democrat dares to boldly speak the truth about how they feel, they're going to be met with a lot of anger from all the other Democrats that don't agree. Prime example, I don't agree with Rashida Tlaib on shit, right? But she's standing firm in what she believes. As a result, she's isolated people like me. And it is other Democrats on other sides who've done the same thing. Catherine Cortez Masto very well didn't want the government to shut down. She stood on her truth and said, no, I don't want it to shut down. I'm going to vote with Republicans. So I say I think they are telling their truth. It's just that I think the problem isn't the candidates. I think the problem is us. We are the problem.
Well, we have too many expectations.
American people fucked up and did this shit, and we are continuously fucking up as supporters and believers in the Democratic Party because we refuse to fucking fall in line.
Exactly. Like, that's what I think the key is. It's a discipline to have these vicious disagreements and then get back to falling in line so that Democrats can get things done. Republicans do that all the time. I mean, if you just look at Trump's cabinet,
we don't have a choice.
They all said about each other is insane, right? It's like his own VP calls him America's Hitler, and he's there because they don't play that way.
He is America's Hitler, but they're now coming together saying we got to do.
Yeah, they'll memory hole it for whatever outcomes they want. I will say, though, too, right? Like, you can give Schumer and Jeffries credit for fighting on the shutdown. I think the problem it's all happening with so many other dynamics. Like, for example, being asked every week since June, are you endorsing Zoran Mamdani? Like, to me, the non-answer is crazier than either answer could ever be, because it's like, just as you're sort of sounding wishy-washy on the funding fight, just as you're sort of acknowledging Charlie Kirk on the House floor and having that discussion again, when everything he said and did was pretty much antithetical to what you're fighting for, and you can't just easily, simply, like most normal people say, bad guy, didn't like him, we shouldn't have political assassinations. Like, that's clear messaging. All of that stuff happening at the same time makes it really hard for, I think, even folks like us who want to see them win.
They're losing right now.
It's cringe. It's cringe. It's all of it.
Listen, this is what I wanted, right? So let me take a little bit different approach. I actually want them to, what I would have wanted them to do is to sit down as a damn party, as elected Democrats in the House and Senate, and decide what stance they were going to take as a team on Charlie Kirk. If they were going to all vote to fucking pass a goddamn holiday to honor him, then fucking do it and have a reason for it and message it. Or all of them don't do it. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see a million cats running all around the motherfucking yard, going all over the place. I need them in this critical moment to come together and walk in one direction that is in opposition to fascism to save American democracy. We can break apart later. We can argue later. We can fight later. But right now, we have got to be unified to gather strength that we do not have. So again, that's the only way I can see us winning and having any momentum forward. That's the only way. And having consistent message. I think the messaging is also, though, Kevin, that's why I really want you to be here. The messaging is the problem.
Well, honestly, it's funny you say that. I almost rather the opposite, where you had a moment, and I don't think it was a proud moment for a lot of people, but it's what they did, where you had folks of color in Congress saying, look at who voted for this. I think there's maybe two non-white names, it was, right, that actually voted for it, something like that. And that's the reality of this party as well. So I'd almost rather we not like sugarcoat it and live in the denialism of it and have those conversations out loud. And then when it comes to actually showing up and voting in 2024, we have that Big Ten actually show up and vote regardless. And I think some of those conversations, right, like it's never going to be in lockstep. They're never going to be organized on that. And by the way, there are probably a lot of people willing to sacrifice, as we're hearing Ezra Klein, right, throw out some of these ideas, like different groups in the party. That's a real thought that people have. And I think I almost rather them say it out loud and get confronted on it and disagreed on in public and debated on by their colleagues than pretend it's not there and suddenly we have this problem that's like been swept under the rug and comes up.
But Ezra Klein doesn't matter. He matters just as much as me and you in terms of the big picture. Fuck him. What I'm talking about are the elected leaders. I'm talking about having the elected members of the House and the Senate do their work. Yes, we want to have public discourse from people like Ezra Klein to come up here and just say, fuck the black people, fuck the gay people, fuck these, cut them off. I want that discourse, so I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about, I don't want to see AOC say one thing, Hakeem Jeffries say one thing, Catherine Cortez Masto say one thing, and it's all spreading all around. And it says, we don't know what Democrats believe in. I want the elected Democrats to be on the same page and to move as a force forward. That's what I'm saying. Not all those people. And I want us to also then know what the message is, and then we can debate that message. Then we can flesh that out.
Okay, so I agree that it should be a core messaging, because not everybody's going to be, because we have more progressives, we have more moderates and stuff like that. Everything is not going to work in everybody's district and where they're from, but we should have a core theme, if that makes sense.
Well, we do. On this, there is the core.
On this, we do.
And I'm saying, so that's my thing on this. Let's stop focusing on the other stuff. This is where we are right now in terms of shutdown. Okay. Shutdown is the problem. I have seen people that don't even fuck with Democrats that are like, okay, they did the right thing and we're going to ride with them on this. So maybe this is the one thing that out of all the things in the last couple of months, that this is the one thing that we can actually agree on. There are 3 people 3 people in the Senate who do not agree with this out of 47. There is one person that voted with in the House. That is Jared Golden, and we know why he did it. So when we're talking about being united as a party on this thing, I spoke to 2 reps today, which is Sarah Eldred and Johnny O. They are on the same page. The governor's on the same page. The thing is, Democrats on this specific thing, they understand what the impact is. So even if you disagree with them, as we said, in terms of like Mamdani, or if you disagree in terms of like the votes that were taken before, just ride with them on this one thing, because this is the one thing that literally could get people killed. People will die all over this. This is not a game. This is not a vote on a holiday. This is a situation where people's literally lives are at stake.
No, you are, yes. They are united on this message, and it's actually, yes, 100%. I'm sure Kenny can agree that everybody we talked to yesterday was saying the exact same thing. But I need to do that on every issue.
Yeah, but I think the problem is, Zach, that on every issue, they're not united.
Everybody's all over.
We're all over the place when it comes to how we feel about progressives or non-progressives, or how we feel about this issue or that issue, or people are scared of re-election in 20. There are certain things that we just not going to agree on. We just got to accept that and learn.
And I think that's authentic, isn't it? Like, I mean, if everyone's saying the same thing, I think it's actually, it doesn't come across as effectively, and you tune it out when it feels like talking points. Like, whereas,
why are the Republicans so effective? Why is the MAGA cult only?
I think they're effective
because they have the same core. Y'all don't get it. They have the same core messaging. Not everybody's fucking crazy like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not everybody's Lauren Boebert. Not everybody's doing the crazy shit that they're doing. But they have the same core messaging.
But let's go back in time, right? And this is probably going back. I'm of course oldest here. I don't know how active and involved you guys were in like the early 2000s, right? But when you go back in time, the Republican Party was more disjointed than Democrats are now, and they were all over the place. And John McCain and Sarah Palin was in many ways their inflection point of the complete breakdown and completely being a shit show as a party. And then comes along Donald Trump, and he pounded everyone into line. And not just Donald Trump. That's giving this man way too much credit. But the Donald Trump machine, the people that he hired and selected and put into place, he has whipped them over time into complete and full submission. And as a result, they move very effectively. Now, I'm not saying that we want to be like that. But I am saying that it is effective. They made decisions to cut out their independence, and they made decisions to take losses over the course of 4 years to then come back and win and be a stronger force. That is, so I guess maybe I'm with the people that say you got to cut some shit out too. Maybe I'm also agreeing that we got to make some decisions and we have to cut some losses, take some losses to ever win again. Because right now we're getting our asses handed to us and people are suffering.
Yeah, but we did just take a big ass loss. We got our ass kicked in 2024. I mean, what we're doing is going through that process. Like you said, they got their ass kicked in 2008, and we are in the same kind of way trying to work our way through it. And it's painful. It is a very painful thing to watch. Because we have think about it. Back in 2008, you started to see the fractions. You started to see the Tea Party. You started to see, and so there we are not there. People want us to be there, but we are not there. What the problem that people are saying is that they want their leaders to actually fight for them. They are saying we want people to fight for us the same way how we are pissed off about all of this shit. I want you to be just as pissed as me. I don't want to see Hakeem up there and just being Mr. Nice Guy. I want to see him go off. I want to see him get just as angry as I am. So what people want is emotion. They politics has now become emotional, and people want more emotion driven politics. And then you have on the other side where people want someone like a Mamdani who is also just talking to everybody. So I don't even think that Democrats in general know what they want, and that is also the problem, but we will find our way. We will find our way as we work through 2026, which is a totally different election than 2028. 2026 is more localized state district races. That is not necessarily, hey, we all need to be on the same page. Everyone's going to talk. They're going to have a central message, but it's going to be a little bit.
That's so optimistic. I hope you're right. I feel like we're not on track to find our way, and I'll tell you why. And I think Mamdani's a key to it, because I agree. He has so much charisma, and I can't believe that we're still talking about the need for charisma.
I'm so sick of it.
A given. It should just be a given. But I'll say he is on track to be, he's going to be elected in 2025.
He's going to be elected. Yeah.
He's going to win. But then he's going to be in the position of governing. And he's promised a lot of things, A, that he literally can't do, or B, that he really, really is unlikely to be able to achieve. And he's going to be failing at those things, as Kathy Hochul's running for re-election, as even AOC, who's one of his biggest backers, is running for re-election, and as this national conversation continues for Democrats after months and months of the Democratic Socialists and Mamdani folks browbeating everyone across the country to fall in line behind him or not. So they're making it an important litmus test. And unfortunately, you're seeing, I think, a lot of people that don't need to weighing in, sort of spending that capital now. And if they're wrong, then either we're going to have to say, okay, well, makes more sense to pivot to the center, which a lot of folks were already saying after 2024, or what, right? And then you're going to piss off the left even more, because they're certainly not going to say, oh, you're right, you tried it our way and it didn't work. Let me learn the lesson and come back around. So I think it's better. I want to see the people saying, I'm not going to endorse him, or the people saying they are, like, have the conversation honestly now, come together to make sure we win midterms, because ideally the core issues everyone cares about, now Trump has made them, the bar is so low. It's, do you care about democracy? Do you think, the Constitution should exist? Do you think that there should be troops terrorizing blue cities? Like, the list goes on, I think, of what at least reasonable people agree on core issues, from some center right all the way left. And that's the coalition that elected Joe Biden. And I think, can we get back to agreeing that that is the number one thing that needs to happen? And I don't see those conversations happening now.
Well, there's a reason they don't happen, is because we're stuck in a bubble. We're constantly in a bubble. We can't have normal conversations. How many times have we had this conversation about people not knowing how to talk? If you disagree with me, then you're cutting me off. Or if I don't disagree with you, I'm like, this is not how politics is supposed to work. We can also agree to disagree. There is things that Kenny has said, there's things that Zach has said, there's things that you have said that I have been like, you know what, I don't agree with that, but I'm not like, fuck you, bitch, and that's it. I mean, this is not normal. This is not normal life. Like, people in real life don't act like this. But I think when you're in the sphere of social media, it is easy to do that, and people become, they go into these little factions where they just want to argue with one another. And this is kind of how we got to this point in the beginning, because we couldn't have a real conversation about Gaza. We couldn't have a real conversation about Israel. Instead, everyone went into their corners and said, fuck you. And then now we're here.
But don't you think it's like,
we tried? We did try.
You
We
know,
tried
let's
to
say-
have a nuanced conversation, but people don't understand nuance. And the other thing, can we just stop bringing up Mamdani? I mean, I support old dude, but I'm just so fucking tired. Okay,
Yeah,
he has
more
absolutely
more
nothing to do with what the fuck is going on in the federal government. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. Sorry, New Yorkers. In the words of Kamala Harris, the world does not fucking revolve around y'all. Oh my God. I don't care. Y'all got to go vote. I can't vote for the man. I can support him. I can give him money, all the types of things, but I can't do shit.
Kenny, are you going to give him any money? Are you going to give him any money?
I actually have. But I can't do shit. Shut up. Shut up. Oh
No, I haven't. I'm not going to give. I
Things
can't.
happening in the fucking world. There's things happening in other people's districts, in other people's states. The world does not fucking revolve around you. Oh my God. It's enough.
I haven't given any money to Mom. I'm happy to see him win what he wins, but I ain't giving out one damn dime because I don't live in New York. Like, I'm not gonna. I don't give money to any. Like, it's rare for you to be in a local race to get my money, because shit, I got my own local politicians. To
and he doesn't need the money. He's maxed out.
He's maxed out. What are you going to give him money for?
Wait, what is a max out in New York? Because in Georgia they unlimited.
Well, 8 million was the
I think
max.
so, or at least for the
So
primary.
no candidate can raise more than $8 million.
Yeah, because they have there's like funding,
A matching program.
matching program. Everybody's in it, so you can't do.
That's good.
The whole it's actually a great thing. It's a
I
wonderful.
love that. There's so many good things in blue states that keep things fair, and that's a really good like that you have campaign limits, so you can't be literally buying races. I love that.
No, you cannot
Don't
buy.
you guys think that, like, because I agree with the point that, like, we allow the bullies who are the loudest voices and, like, don't tolerate dissent and discourse to lead the conversation. But, like, all four of us have pretty big personalities. And I feel like somewhere along the way, after 2016, the lesson learned was like, all right, well, let's treat all these guys with kid gloves and hopefully they'll just like be quiet enough to go along and vote for us and go with the coalition. Yeah. That's why I love Kenny's content, because it's like, isn't how we get back to that by shaming and fighting back and punching back just as hard when it's like, you're screaming at me for saying an opinion, you're insane. Like, it's fine to respond that way. And I think if more people with like more moderated views did that, I mean, moderate doesn't have to be, not even moderate, that's like the wrong word, but, you know, not far left, doesn't have to be boring and non-charismatic and non-energetic. So I think we just need to kind of stand behind all of that.
You know, what needs to happen is we need to push back against bullshit. I am not moderate worth a damn. I'm actually very far leftist. I believe in Medicare for all and all types of things. I'm probably more progressive. Zach is more progressive than he comes out to be, but he's very progressive. But at the end of the day, I'm not fucking very loyal.
I am gonna follow the leader, people. I'm very progressive. Behind the scenes, I'll express my thoughts, but you're not gonna see me get out on a public stage and bash the highest ranking black man in American politics. It's not gonna ever come from me.
You have.
I wasn't raised that way.
Okay, so the only thing I would say about this is that, so I've noticed a difference. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what the difference is. Yesterday, when they said something about, you know, about when Pete Heck said about fat people, right? And I was like, okay, let me see how people are gonna respond to this. So my response was that Trump is fat and he's the commander in chief, right? So I was like, let me see how people are going to respond. Are they going to call it like that fat phobic? Because listen, this is kind of where we were like a few years ago, right? So I kind of do test to see how people react. So Gavin Newsom then comes out and he has a fat ass picture of Trump, and no one said anything. None of the normal people that would be like, oh my God, you're being fat phobic. None of those people their voices were not heard. So people are at the point where they're like, oh, you want to go to if you want to go, we're going to go to hell. Okay. To the gutter. And we're not going to do this whole like, oh my God, you're offending me kind of thing. We are not there anymore. So to me, that is progress. I'm sorry, guys.
It really is. But we're back in the early 2000s. All that PC shit done went out the motherfucking window.
Well,
here's the other thing. All that shit went out the window, even with the leftists. Like, they were calling me F-word, N-word, all types of slurs way back in the damn day. They were calling Hillary a B-word, calling her a witch, burn the witch, all types of shit they were saying back in the day. And I think the issue is, for the longest, we're so desperate for your vote. Oh, I'm not going to tolerate. I'm just going to let you bully me because I need you to show up and vote. No, you shouldn't tolerate a bully. You're supposed to push back against a bully. And back to the original theme. All Democrats want, all voters want to see is the Democratic Party push back with the same intensity. People don't want no weak bitch. That's all it is.
That's it. And even Hakeem, when he pushed back with that Epstein with the Epstein picture, people like that shit. People want you to go to the goddamn gutter. God damn it, go. Just go.
Give us a show. Because you don't got the votes anyway. So the whole thing is, you're the opposition party, right? Minority, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Let's just call it opposition, because at the end of the day, your job is to disrupt. When we had like the first 2 years of the Biden-Harris administration, they didn't have the majority Republicans, but they were still able to disrupt. They were still able to cause chaos and steer the fucking narratives to make people believe that nothing was being done when we know that's bullshit. We have the same ability to do the same thing. We just have to stay on track and have the same core messaging. Even though everything may not be exactly the same, at least the core messaging should be the same.
So, you know, what I love about this is it's our chance to really talk strategy. We are going to talk briefly about the book, people. Yes, we're going to talk about the book, but not really deeply about the book, but just a little bit about the sales. We'll talk about the sales of the book. Is that we just here to talk strategy. So one thing that was dropped in the chat was, you know, people were talking about Mamdani, and I think someone said, well, let's see how Mamdani will poll in the South. Well, listen, that goes back to the DNC chair Kim Martin's original strategy when he ran for DNC chair. And he talked about different types of Democrats being focused in different types of the country where that represents the Democratic Party and base of that area. Clearly, Zohran Mamdani represents the Democratic base of New York. That is because he's a candidate. He won. In the same way that he represents that base, I mean, I hate to say it, I don't want this to be the case. Now, listen, I do not want Jeff Duncan to be the Democratic nominee for governor in Georgia. I don't trust him. I'm gonna meet the man. I'm gonna sit with the man. I'm gonna interview the man. I don't anticipate I will trust him. But I will say that if he wins the damn party nomination, I'm going to support him. I'm going to back him, and I'm going to be out there fighting for him. That means he represents the Democratic base in Georgia. So I'm just saying, like, that's kind of like, the strategy. But is that the right strategy? Those are the things that we debate. And those are the kind of things that we're thinking through and looking at what have we done right and what have we done wrong. Clearly, the House Democrats and the Senate Democrats did the right thing with messaging around the shutdown for the public eye. The message, though, has to continue to spread. That's why we're here tonight. That's why, even though I'm tired and a motherfucker, I said I will definitely be doing this Wednesday show. I have literally got 5 hours of sleep every night since last Tuesday because I wasn't going to miss one party. Like, I didn't miss one party. I didn't turn down one drink. I didn't. And I want to say I didn't miss one. Kenny doesn't drink. He's a sober guy. I don't know if y'all knew that. Kenny is not going to drink. I can't make him drink. Can you please have a damn glass of champagne, nigga? But no, he won't even have a glass of champagne. But I'm going to drink more than enough for everybody. Like, give me your drink tickets. So I am still deeply recovering from that. I'm hoping that I can recover by Sunday. But this was so important. I just we have to talk about it. We have to be here. I just think we need that messaging across the board. Everybody wants to talk about the book, and I know Tiffany's read the book. Kaivan, have you read the book?
I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, you haven't. Kenny is reading it.
Cool.
I haven't even got a chance to. I haven't got it. They've been working my ass, but I'm going to get it before I get to Kamala's meet and greet and book tour here in DC. I have to finish it.
You got to finish it. Listen, y'all, I'm going to be honest. I was pissed at it. I was madder than hell. I was mad. I'm going to tell you how mad I was so mad. I ordered my books and I just knew they were usually the books you order online come earlier than the regular books, right? No, my book didn't get to my house until Friday when I was already in DC. So I had to arrange for someone to come to my house to get my book so they wouldn't get wet in the rain because it was raining. And I was panicked and upset. But I was so thirsty for the fucking book. And so I had my iPad, right? Y'all, my iPad has been disabled from purchases because I had fraud on a card. And so all those purchases got disputed, including something from Apple got caught up in it. So Apple disabled the account. The iPad that account can no longer be used to purchase. I had to download the damn book on my phone to read the book. Has anyone ever read an iBook on their phone?
Yes, and it's horrible.
It's not the fun. It's all right. It is.
It was going to take you a year to read that book on that goddamn phone.
A year to read that little ass book. But baby, I went out and I downloaded the damn book on this phone to read it. So I have read half of the book on the iPhone, but luckily I'm home and I plan to finish the book. So people have read it, but none of that matters because what really matters is these numbers, baby. The number one bestseller, Alex Thompson, and what's that man name that y'all like on MSNBC? Jake Tapper, eat shit. Jake Tapper, eat shit. Because this book has whooped your ass.
You're so sad. The thing is, what pisses me off about this is so many people, like all these publications, these newspapers have hated on this book so bad. But as a person who's read this book,
have people been not liking the book?
Oh, honey, they've been mad at this lady. The black lady had a lot to say and they took it personally. How dare the black lady talk about this race and what was going on? She is a bad person for telling her truth. There's a whole thing all weekend long. But to me personally, as a person who lived this, I was talking to Jose about this the other day. We did a live. As a person who lived this, we all lived this. We were DNC delegates. We were at the DNC. We lived this from the start to finish of that 107 days, crying and all. Okay, and it was kind of a cleansing thing. I'm sure it was cleansing for her, and it was damn sure cleansing for my ass, because there were things that I knew that were happening behind the scenes that were not told. She kind of reiterated what we knew and then gave a little bit of tea behind it. And I appreciated that. So the haters are going to hate no matter what. I am very proud of the 107 days that she ran. It didn't work out the way it should have. She should be president right now, but so is life. And not everything's going to work out the way we want to. But I still appreciate the fact that, she took her time to write it, because she didn't have to write anything. She could have just said, fuck y'all, and kept it moving. But she wrote it, and she wrote it for us.
So when is a DC trip? When is she coming to DC?
She's going to be here on the 8th, I think the day before Atlanta. 8th or the 9th or something like that. I got my Ticketmaster thing in here somewhere.
So are we going to be through with the book? So can we talk about the book after then? So are we going to have an episode?
We'll be here on the 9th.
So we'll say the following week, we need to all have the book read, come together and have a deep dive and talk about it. And we'll really have like a special episode.
You guys should have her on. I'm sure she'd do it.
We
I have her contact.
That's the vision.
We're gonna, Kenny, Morgan emailed me back.
Okay, keep that on the tee. We have to talk about that after the live.
But Kenny, also, I'm not emailing Morgan often. I email her just one time to ask one very simple thing. And I got a very simple response back, because she's probably overwhelmed. She's running. But we will definitely, you know what? I think we can get her, y'all. I think we can get her. We're going to fight for her. We're going to ask and fight really hard. We have been able to have Leader Jeffries. I just interviewed Cory Booker. I'm gonna ask, can we please have just 10 minutes of VP's time? I bet we can get it. Do y'all think we can get it?
On behalf of the K House, she'll do it for the K House.
I think we're gonna be able to get it.
I do. You got two big K Hivers in here. Oh geez.
Yeah, I didn't know that was in this fifth printing.
Yeah, no, they said listen, the book sold. She had thought her.
You can't buy it in stores.
Yeah, some stores are sold out. Yeah, it's they
were giving them away for free on CBC Week, but you had to show up like very early. I mean, AB was upset she didn't get hers, along with Ketanji Brown Jackson. I think she has a book as well, so she was trying to get both books. But no, 107 days flew off the damn shelf. Everybody's like crack apparently with this book. I mean, you said you're not even a book person, Tiff, and I saw your video. You said I'm
a book in years. Probably since college, I don't read books. I hate books.
Same. Honestly, Carrie texted me. I was like, I'm not really into books, but
so this is what you do. I have the book. I have the original copy that I got. I'm gonna have 2 signed books when I go to the meet and greet, and I'm gonna mark up this book that I already got. But I also have the audio as well, so I'm gonna be marking up with the audio like certain specific pieces that I feel that are going to be important later.
Yeah, I ordered 2 copies, and then I'm gonna get 2 copies because me and a guest will be going to see her for that. So I'll have 4 copies. I want all the copies, bitch. I want them for like generations to come. There'll be a keepsake to give to nieces and nephews when I'm old.
This is the experience of a Black woman running for president.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna keep it going, and I don't have the photo book, but maybe I need to order the photo book. I didn't know there was a photo book.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a Biden photo book.
Yeah, but am I going to buy? And so we talked about, they brought up. I do have Ketanji Brown Jackson's book as well. Somebody brought up again Karine Jean-Pierre's book.
Oh, wow.
Are we gonna buy that book?
I probably will, because I want to know from her perspective.
I'm not reading another goddamn.
Nick Capper might beat her. I gotta say, not to be a hater, but
I'm not reading any more books.
I want to hear from her experience how she was treated, because I just feel like the Black staff was not treated correctly, and I feel like we had a missed opportunity. Just in general, I just feel like they didn't know how to navigate us. I feel like that's what was going on. That was like the central theme. So I want to know more about that. because it just
No,
seems like no matter how high a level of office you are, for some odd reason, being Black, you're going to be undermined at every turn. And I think that's the main theme of what was going on here.
I'm gonna have to see kind of what she's saying, because there were some things that were leaked that I wasn't happy with advocacy arena network. Some of that stuff that came out when they were talking about the book were things that were, I'm like, she was throwing a little bit of shade towards VP. So we're gonna see, but maybe we'll say, because one thing the media will do, especially on Twitter, is take it out of context. So that's why I'm like, that turned me off from Kareen's book when I saw some of the excerpts. But we'll see what it comes and comes in there.
In fairness, her team picked what they wanted to release, and I do think it's interesting. Like, it just seemed a little gimmicky. I think it would be more interesting to hear her story and experience, like Kamala's memoir, than like this device of like, we need more independent voters, and that's the solution to everything. That seemed to be what the book was about, which was like, oof, hard disagree. That is like the last thing we need on earth. But
and hopefully that's not what she's really saying,
what it really is.
So that's why maybe. But I am kind of worried. I really feel like it's coming out, like kind of sucks it's coming out right after Kamala's book comes out, even though it was announced far before Kamala's book. All of that makes me say, like, did Kamala do this by design? Say, Kareen, sit your ass down. I'm just saying.
Zach, I need to know, are you supporting Dr. Heavenly in her race?
So let's talk about that, because I don't know if I'm supposed to, but like, that's a really hard one. So let me be honest, right? Of course, I'm very locked into the CBC. I'm a very big supporter of all 62 members of the Congressional Black Caucus. I want everyone to hear me say this very clearly, because my opinion on this is a little bit different than everybody else's that I know. A lot of people want old people to sit their asses down and retire. And to be honest with you, I really want you to retire too, if you're old and sick and you need to enjoy the last days you have left to living. I want you to have a good life. But I also understand that when a member of the CBC gives up their seat, they lose that rank, and that Black voice is no longer at the table. Dr. Heavenly is running against sitting U.S. Representative David Scott. David Scott is in his 80s. And is rumored to be dealing with just some health challenges. So I had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Heavenly. I had the opportunity to
meet her campaign manager.
I had to interview Dr. Heavenly and her whole team. And I will say that I am strongly considering a real endorsement of Dr. Heavenly.
I didn't even know she was
Dr. Heavenly.
I thought she was running for a local seat.
I thought she was running for Georgia House.
And just out of nowhere. Like, how long has it been?
She's running for the Georgia House, no?
Stop.
No, she was. She was running for Georgia, like
Breaking
69th district, and now she's running
and
for
now
the.
she leveled up. That's fast.
That's right. Stop. When
That
she was
quickly.
running for the local seat, Zachary Kirk was opposed to her running.
Okay.
Because the person who runs and who sits in that seat is a highly effective Georgia lawmaker who has done the work in the community. The town that was being represented as part of Georgia is called Lithonia, Georgia. Okay, Lithonia. Stonecrest, Lithonia. This lady is a phenomenal representative and is a community leader and an advocate for that community. I think she's great. She's a great lawmaker. There's no reason anyone should have even primaried her. Dr. Heavenly should not have ran against her. However, Dr. Heavenly has now decided to not run against her, but instead run for the United States House of Representatives against David Scott. And in that race, I'm strongly considering an endorsement.
Well, I did not know that. That's news.
Oh, wow. News to me.
I know.
Speaking of, Jolanda Jones, a Texas state representative,
Our friend.
Honey, she was at
Elsa Turner's seat, which is also going to be the same. It's the same seat that Isaiah Martin is running for. So it's like one of them things.
Our other friend.
I like my friend, but good Lord, Jolanda Jones. Good Lord, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Okay, listen, I think it's okay to not pick sides, right? You can support more than one person. You're not in the district. You don't have a vote, so
I
you
know.
can.
But I'm definitely giving my platform to Jolanda Jones, because if we can do this, and honestly, polling numbers, we can get.
I like her. She seems like she's I like her better than the other dude that's running. So
Exactly.
not Isaiah.
Not Isaiah. We're talking about the other dude.
Yeah.
She can beat the guy who's literally at the top. She has a good chance at winning, and I would prefer put Yolanda Jones in that seat.
Didn't you do an ad today? I saw an ad that was.
Oh yeah, I shared it.
It was a great ad. It's a great ad.
I collabed with the ad.
I saw that. I saw her thing through your Instagram.
Yeah, I know I saw it earlier. Listen, there is multiple people running in a race, and you can support more than one person. The voters are going to decide at the end of the day. It's probably going to go to a runoff, so the top two are going to make it. And then you could pick from the top two, and you could go hard as hell for whoever makes it to the top two, because it ain't going to be Isaiah and Yolanda. I can tell you that.
So wait, you say it won't be? Oh yeah, it won't be them in the top two in the runoff. So who is Jasmine going to represent? Who do you think advocacy? Who's Jasmine going to endorse? I mean, I think she's going to endorse. From what I saw this week, it's going to be Yolanda's going to get the endorsement.
It's going to be Yolanda. Look, if Jasmine's going to put her foot on the scale, Yolanda's got. That's what I believe. Yolanda got a good chance of doing this thing.
Yeah, well, she made a name for herself like Jasmine did through the whole redistricting fight.
Whoever wins the Democratic nomination is going to get that seat. Period. Point.
Yeah.
Like whoever wins.
But they have to go. It's going to go to a runoff because that's the way Texas. There's too many people in the race. No one's going to get to 50%. It's going to go to a runoff. This is the guarantee.
Yeah,
guaranteed to go to a runoff. And what's also guaranteed is that we will be back here next week, ready to go. Kaivan, thank you so much for coming by. It was always a good time. Thank you everybody out there for sticking with us. We were gone for 2 weeks, but now we're back with the jump off and the jump in and the jump all around. We will see you all next week, and I will be recovering. I'm drinking my electrolytes.
You need a detox, my friend.
Well, I should have been drinking electrolytes. It's crazy, but I should have been having electrolytes every day. Every day I woke up saying, I should go and get some electrolyte powder, but my ass didn't. So I'll be getting there step by step, little by little. Mwah! See you next week.
Bye, y'all.